All right, cheers and salutations. Welcome, one and all, to Americans Learn. My name is Kit. Don't let the sign fool you. I got to talk to my tech guy. Neglected on it. OBS, it's a lot of fun, and I know that if I do anything wrong, I'll screw it up. But this is Americans Learn, and it's still October. All Hallows Eve is upon us. And what better way to enjoy the holiday season of October, even though I'm seeing Christmas decorations in stores. I went to Costco, and stop asking me if I'm sweeping. I am not sweeping. Anyways, I saw Christmas decorations. Like, come on, Santa. Halloween can't have October. You guys can't wait till November. But oh no, see all the Christmas decorations everywhere, all the time. Woo! I like Christmas too, but jeez Louise. Christmas in October? November? I mean, November I could see it. But all right, I'm not angry. But hey, let's enjoy October by taking a nice cool swim. There's something in the water from, you guessed it, a bedtime story. So let's get ready to enjoy this video and check it out in a 3. Oh, by the way, please be sure to support the original content creator. We here at Americans Learn encourage all of you people to do the right thing because there's something in the water. It's right behind you.
What lies beneath the rippling surfaces of our lakes, rivers and oceans? Could prehistoric predators, long thought extinct, still roam? Or huge, deep-dwelling
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Creatures that are as elusive as they are mysterious? Truly, there is something in the water. The question is, what?
There's something in the water.
The seas, lakes and rivers of our world are as fascinating as they are enigmatic. Mankind has long held an affinity towards these vast bodies of water that permeate the globe. They are the lifeblood of this planet, and we, as human beings, seem to have an inveterate curiosity of the depths beneath those rippling surfaces. It's an interest that seeds our wildest dreams and fuels our darkest nightmares. We have seen but a glimpse of this mysterious realm, and in fact, more people have visited the moon than have visited the deepest parts of our oceans. Despite covering more than 2/3 of the Earth's surface, 95% of our seas and oceans remain unexplored, and of the tens of thousands of new species which are catalogued each year, a huge number of them are aquatic. The truth, it seems, is an ominous one. There are potentially millions upon millions of waterborne species still undiscovered, which begs the question, what else could be lurking in those depths?
You know, Thalassophobia. I think that's it is. I mean, I don't have that, but I mean, I've played video games where they do give that warning, like, hey, this could trigger anyone who has Thalassophobia or whatever it's called. And I played this one game where like you are in a you're at the bottom of the ocean and you're in this scuba suit and you have to get to the surface because an earthquake hit the entire facility and you're being haunted by ghosts and monsters. So yeah, like it's a great psychological game. Good game.
For centuries, sailors reported horrifying encounters with various sea monsters, with perhaps the most recognisable amongst them being the dreaded Kraken. In modern times, however, these stories have largely been dismissed as tall tales of the sea, told to frighten fresh naval recruits and to deter piracy. But it may surprise you to learn that sightings of so-called sea, river and lake monsters are as prevalent today as they were all those years ago. Interest in this subject saw a huge resurgence in the late 90s, when an ultra-low frequency sound was detected underwater by the US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in 1997. It was said to have been so loud and so powerful that it was picked up by multiple sensors more than 3,000 miles away. It was referred to simply as bloop, and scientists initially suspected that it must have been made by some huge, as yet undiscovered marine animal, larger than anything on record. By 2012, however, investigations had revealed that it was nothing more than sea ice scraping against the ocean floor.
Oh.
Nevertheless, imaginations had been captivated, and people had already begun to put more stock in stories surrounding sea monsters. The legend of the Kraken stretches back thousands of years. Homer's The Odyssey mentions a very similar beast, but it was Norwegian writer Erik Pontoppidan's 1755 book, The Natural History of Norway, that first described one in detail. Pontoppidan wrote that according to fishermen, it was so huge it could easily drag a 5,000-ton vessel down into the murky depths, and its tentacles were long enough to pluck sailors from the deck of a ship and drown them. These tales were often taken with a pinch of salt, and no naturalist of any repute regarded them with any seriousness. However, in 1857, the legend began to move from fiction to scientific fact. A Danish naturalist by the name of Peter Steenstrup examined a large squid's beak, which had washed up on a local beach. It was 3 inches wide, far larger than any found in known specimens.
Ah, the giant squid or colossal squid.
He could only make estimations as to the animal's full size, but when he was later handed 2 large tentacles, which had appeared on a beach in the Bahamas, he famously declared that the Kraken was indeed real.
No, that's...
In more recent times, giant and even colossal squids have been described, growing up to 15 meters in length, and some estimations have even suggested that they can grow as large as 20. It's hard to believe, but live specimens of these huge animals were only filmed and photographed as recently as 2004.
I remember that.
But could they really be responsible for the famous stories of old?
No.
It is unlikely,
No.
as giant squids have never been seen at the surface. They tend to stay at depths of between 800 and 1600 meters, and whilst they may look fearsome and are predators of smaller animals, they are relatively gentle creatures. It would seem that the Kraken was possibly nothing more than an exaggeration of their size and ferocity, but who knows what else is down there? After all, the legend of the Kraken was around long before we were even aware that giant or colossal squids existed, so one might question what exactly seeded this legend. In 2004, a GPS tag which had been attached to a 9-foot great white shark was discovered on a beach in Australia.
Whoa.
This was just 4 months after, and only a few miles away from where the shark was originally tagged. Wildlife conservationists analysed the data contained within the tag and discovered something strange. During those first 4 months, this female shark had been habitually hunting in the coastal waters, rarely exceeding a depth of 600 feet.
Okay.
However, at 4 AM on the 24th of December, she was seen to suddenly plunge over the edge of the continental shelf to a depth of 1900 feet in just under 2 minutes, a speed faster than she could have swam. The initial belief was that the tag had simply detached from her body, but this was quickly ruled out. If the shark could not have swum as fast as the tag had descended, then it certainly wouldn't have sunk as fast. More importantly, during the descent, the temperature was recorded at a constant 78 degrees Fahrenheit, much warmer than the 46 degrees that was recorded when it was attached to the shark's fin. Coupled with the fact that it was sinking into much deeper and therefore much colder water, if it had simply detached, the tag should have experienced a sudden drop in temperature, but this was not the case. When the tag itself was examined, it was found to be lined with a substance believed to be stomach acid. This final clue suggested that this shark had almost certainly been killed and eaten by something bigger. The question
Well, I'm not going in the ocean. All right, bye, folks. Show's over.
was, what? Some people theorised that she had been attacked by a killer whale.
Most likely suspect.
Orcas have been known to hunt sharks, and they are certainly big enough, growing up to lengths of 32 feet. The issue with this theory, though, is the depth. The deepest a killer whale has ever been observed is a mere 850 feet, less than half the depth seen in this instance. 10 years later, in 2014, marine biologists believed they had cracked the case, stating that the culprit was obviously another, much larger great white shark, acting either through extreme hunger or due to a territorial dispute. However, this theory is not without its problems. First of all, it is extremely rare for great whites to resort to cannibalism, especially in waters that are as abundant as those found around Australia. If it was a territorial dispute, then again, this goes against everything we have learned about these huge predators. Being the extremely intelligent animals they are, they usually settle these disputes non-violently, through a variety of gestures and interactions. Finally, the temperature the tag recorded as it descended was not as it would be expected. At 78 degrees Fahrenheit, it was 14 degrees warmer than the highest possible temperature of a great white's stomach, which is 64 degrees. These inconsistencies have led some people to believe that a megalodon was responsible.
No. Megalodon is not real. Megalodon is dead. Stop it. There. I settled it. Megalodon is dead. For Christ's sakes, we'd see it already. Now, I feel like Tony Soprano yelling. Like, conserve!
Possibly the largest, most powerful fish to have ever existed, at an estimated 60 feet in length. Despite the scientific community being largely in agreement that the megalodon went extinct about 2.6 million years ago, people have contested this belief, with numerous eyewitness accounts of massive sharks from all over the globe. Whilst these sightings are mostly written off as mistaken identity, with whale and basking sharks being the most likely candidates, this has not deterred people from believing that the megalodon is alive and well and still prowling the depths.
I never when Shark Week did that stupid thing. Is Megalodon alive? Stupid Discovery Channel. Oh, is Megalodon alive? Then you have the History Channel with Ancient Aliens. Yeah, aliens made the pyramids. Aliens made Stonehenge. Aliens made the Great Wall of China. Did you know Ancient Aliens? They also did 2 different episodes. Did Ancient Aliens help out the Axis powers? Did Ancient Aliens help out the Allied powers? So wait, you tell me the aliens were playing with both sides during World War II? Getting stressed out here, man. Maybe I should go back to sweeping. Huh? Did Ancient Aliens help sweep? If I see that in the comment section below, I'm going to snap.
Of our oceans. After all, in 1875, a dragnet from British ship HMS Challenger pulled up, amongst other things, a megalodon tooth. When this tooth was dated, using a method which measures the buildup of manganese dioxide, it was found to be only 11,000 years old.
Okay, that's disturbing.
One can't help but question why such a large, unchallenged predator like the megalodon would ever go extinct in any case.
Simple. Changing patterns of the oceans, and of course, more advanced predators, okay? And not to mention the birth and gestation rate. Now, I know many people are going to be talking about, Megalodon and Leviathan, the sperm whale, which was a more aggressive version. That's the ancestor to that. Large animals like that, it takes a long time to gestate and, birth the next generation. And with new predators, like, for example, the killer whales, it can give those larger predators a run for their money. And killer whales have proven how much of a threat they can be. So let's say that too was truly 11,000 years ago. Well, I mean, the oceans were drastically changing, especially during the high point of Megalodon when it was alive during the Cenozoic period. It is clear that, with new changes, creatures that fail to adapt will go extinct. And before anyone types in the comment section below, gee, kid, why are you shooting all that knowledge off? Little known Wikipedia fact. I used to study dinosaurs and prehistoric life. I was on 3 dinosaur expeditions, 2 to Montana, 1 to South Dakota. I was studying to be a paleontologist. Dreams die hard. And then I became a Marine. But that, my friends, is a story for another day.
The Megalodon isn't the only extinct species thought to still roam our oceans. In 1915, a German submarine, U-28,
Germania. Don't think I forgot what you did to Rome. I'm sorry. That was from the Unbiased History of Rome, which is the most factually correct series I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Don't you think I forgot what you did, Germania? And also, by the way, Germania, you're calling yourself the Holy Roman Empire? How dare you stand where he once stood? Shame on you, Germania. Shame on you for all eternity. I saw a comment section below for one of the Roman videos. I am from Germania. Can I still believe in true Rome? Yes, you can. But we must never forget the crimes of Germania. We must never forget the traitor Arminius.
had a terrifying encounter with a huge marine reptile. Commander Freiherr George G. von Frostner reported in the vessel's logbook exactly what happened.
On July 30th, 1915, our U-28 torpedoed the British steamer Iberian, which was carrying a rich cargo across the North Atlantic. The steamer sank so swiftly that its bow stuck up almost vertically into the air. Moments later, the hull of Iberian disappeared. The wreckage remained beneath the water for approximately 25 seconds, at a depth that was clearly impossible to assess, when suddenly there was a violent explosion which shot pieces of debris, among them a gigantic aquatic animal, out of the water to a height of approximately 80 feet. At that moment, I had with me in the conning tower 6 of my officers of the watch, including the chief engineer, the navigator, and the helmsman. Simultaneously, we all drew one another's attention to this wonder of the seas, which was writhing and struggling among the debris. We were unable to identify the creature, but all of us agreed that it resembled an aquatic crocodile, which was about 60 feet long, with 4 limbs resembling large webbed feet.
I approve this aquatic animal. It's a true Roman. Get that U-boat. I mean, oh no. Oh no, U-boat, get out of there. Get them. Avenge Rome.
A long pointed tail, and a head which also tapered to a point. Unfortunately, we were not able to take a photograph, for the animal sank out of sight after 10 or 15
Pixar didn't happen, bro.
seconds.
If the commander's report, which was also verified by his crew, is to be believed, then what he describes sounds very much like a mosasaur. Mosasaurs were huge marine reptiles, which could grow up to 60 feet in length. They are thought to have gone extinct hundreds of millions of years ago, but these creatures have apparently been sighted off the coast of New Zealand as recently as 2013, and in other parts of the world over the past 300 years.
What?
The scientific community, once again, rules out these sightings as merely the misidentification of saltwater crocodiles.
No, Mosasaurus is dead. I'm sorry. As much as it was great to see a prehistoric animal, no.
However, this seems a bit of a stretch for most eyewitnesses, who have reported lengths of more than 50 feet. The largest saltwater crocodile on record was just under 20 feet long.
Jeez.
But these alleged monsters of the deep are not just limited to prehistoric animalia. Towards the end of the 20th century, a Japanese whale research vessel working in the Pacific reported seeing a huge creature breaking upon the surface of the water. It was approximately 90 feet in length, white in colour, much like an albino whale, but it had a humanoid shape with a round head and tendril-like arms or fins, which were as long as its whole body. It had no legs or feet, but instead, the lower half of its body tapered and ended in a mermaid-like tail. Because of its oddly human-like shape, the research crew named it Ninjin, the Japanese word for human. It has been sighted many times since, most commonly in the southern Antarctic Ocean, leading many to believe that it dwells in colder climates. Photographic and even video evidence does exist, but the quality of the footage leaves much to be desired, leading many to speculate that this colossal creature is nothing more than a hoax.
Yes.
If Ninjin does exist, however, some have suggested that it could be an as yet undiscovered species of whale. Of course, such sightings do not just occur on the high seas. There are many lakes and rivers throughout the world which are thought to hide exotic or ancient creatures.
Loch Ness Monster was just nothing more than a drunk guy saying, "Oh, hey, yeah, I saw a monster."
Possibly the oldest and most well-known example being the Loch Ness Monster. Sightings of Nessie date as far back as the 6th century, but the majority of eyewitness accounts only began to appear after the 1930s. There is a multitude of compelling photographs taken around Loch Ness, and even video evidence showing strange disturbances out on the surface of the lake. Many of these sightings conjure up the image of a plesiosaur, a large aquatic reptile thought to have gone extinct around 66 million years ago. There are a number of theories which attempt to explain how a large group of plesiosaurs might have survived the mass extinction event millions of years ago, and continued to eke out their existence in the lakes of the Scottish Highlands. Unfortunately, however, the legend seems to wane somewhat with each passing year, as hoax after hoax is exposed, and we are left wondering whether Nessie was ever real to begin with, is simply lying dormant, or has perhaps gone forever.
It would be nice to see such a creature. Even I, as a kid born in 1985, there was always that hope, because there was that, before the internet became what it was, you had your local public library, and there was this one book I used to get out all the time, and that is cryptids and monsters of the unknown. Maybe it would have been nice to see such creatures, but they are nothing but myth and legend. And we all must grow up someday, yeah?
Loch Ness is only one of many large bodies of water thought to be home to a plesiosaur. Sightings of similar creatures in deep lakes are reported all over the world, and they have even been seen in the ocean. In 1977, a Japanese trawler fishing off the
Nah, that's a whale carcass.
coast of New Zealand pulled up a large carcass, thought to be the rotting remains of a plesiosaur. The photographs are compelling to say the least. A long neck and a set of fins are clearly visible, and whilst many scientists insisted that it was not a fish, whale, or other mammal, analysis later indicated that it was more than likely the heavily deteriorated remains of a basking shark.
Basking shark. Sorry, folks. Wrong animal.
More recently, attention has very much been focused on the River Thames, with speculation that this ancient river snaking its way through the City of London is home to its very own Loch Ness Monster. In 2016, a video was uploaded to YouTube which seems to depict a large dark mass swimming upriver close to the O2 Arena. Two humps are seen to briefly break the surface before submerging again and disappearing for good. A week later, another piece of footage filmed near the Thames barrier was uploaded, which showed a very similar dark mass, again breaking the surface of the river.
It's probably debris. I want it to be real too, but it's not.
This time for a much longer period. The person filming did not notice the anomaly until after he reviewed the footage. Unbelievably, a third piece of film was captured during the same week over by the Docklands. Once again, it shows another large dark mass swimming beneath the surface. Wildlife experts were mystified by these videos, particularly the first one. Although seals, dolphins and porpoises have been known to swim up the Thames, nothing this large has ever been seen before. Or, for that matter, since.
All right. Those who live by the Thames River, has this mystery been solved? People of Great Britain. Type your story in the comment section below. Have you seen this monster? Are the legends real? Is there still hope and magic in the world? Let us know.
So what are we to make of all these sea, river and lake monsters? Is there any truth to these sightings, or are we to dismiss them all as nothing more than exaggeration? There simply isn't enough compelling evidence to conclude that any of these creatures exist. But on the flip side, the depths of the Earth's waters are so opaque, mysterious and inaccessible that they might as well be in some far-flung region of the solar system. We simply do not know what is down there. We cannot deny that the possible existence of oversized, predatory or rarely seen creatures in our waters has captivated our imaginations. It seems we have plenty left to discover, and possibly plenty more to fear.
Do not fear, my friends, the deep.
The next time you go paddling in a lake, river or sea, take a moment to consider what might be lurking beneath your feet.
Ah! Nothing like some Thalassophobia. Yo hoist the sail. Hoist the colors. There you go. Yo hoist the colors. All right. So there's a lot to unpack here. Is there anything in the deep, under the sea? Is there anything you should be afraid of? By the way, how do you feel about these bedtime stories for October, this spooky month of October? Because there's a lot of content here. Nameless Horrors, The Ghost of UB65. By the way, shout out to that Mosasaur. Get that U-boat. Get that boat from Germania. I'm sorry. I'm biased. No, I am unbiased. Stupid U-boat. Go back to Germania, U-boat. That Mosasaur was with the Allies. He was a friend of that British ship that was wrongly attacked. You said, you sunk my friends, you bastards. I am not being biased towards Germania. I'm being factually correct. Anyways, first of all, there's a lot more of these stories. So if you guys enjoy this, you guys and gals, give us your feedback. Type in the comment section below. Your feedback is fundamentally important. It's the one thing, it's the only thing that's going to matter, because if we don't hear back from you, how do we know if we are or are not doing a good job? Your stories, your feedback is important. So what are your thoughts? Do you have any deep sea horror stories? Have you seen a monster in the deep oceans, be it in the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, Arctic. There we go. Yeah, it's four oceans. Or any of the seas, like anywhere in or any lakes or rivers. What are your what have you seen giant beasts before? After all, people in Australia, you guys got saltwater crocodiles, and those boys can grow up to 20 feet long. Regale me with your stories. Have you seen a leviathan of the deep? Don't hold back on your story. Let's all be respectful. What ocean terrors have you seen? I'll see you on the flip side. Take good care.